What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I am going to be doing my last and final scouting report video of the season. As you guys know, throughout the entire year, every week I've been doing scouting report videos for every team that remains on the Dolphins schedule. So obviously, week one, I had a bunch of them to do. This is the final week of the season. We only have one opponent left on the schedule, that is the New England Patriots, and so I will be doing this video. I do intend to do this again next season as well, because I am still very much trying to branch out and learn more about the different teams and so on and so forth. I'm trying to get better with like my draft prospect stuff, so I'm going to be diving pretty deep into that, or deeper than I've ever gone, when it comes to doing research on prospects and stuff like that. I'm gonna I think I've decided I'm gonna kind of try and take it easy a little bit, ease myself into it. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off by evaluating and see where our biggest holes are, and I'll rank them across the roster. I'll biggest needs, and then I'll probably take like the top 5 players from each position, and that's probably about as far as I'm going to go this time, because I'm not going to do like, I'm not quite ready to jump in and do like, scouting reports and evaluations for like, 200 different players or whatever, and from like small schools and stuff like that. So I'm going to ease myself in, but I'm doing more than last year. Anyway, enough of that. I just wanted to kind of, preface that, because we are getting ready to, move into the off season for the Dolphins. Obviously, I intend to make some content for like the playoffs and stuff. I may do live streams for some of the games. I think I probably will do live streams for some of the playoff games and stuff like that, so heads up for that. But, other than that, it's going to be, getting ready for free agency and the draft. I'm going to do, I'm going to dive into free agency. I'm going to look at the free agents that the Dolphins have on their roster. I'll do, a video about that. I'll do a video about, pending free agents across the league that might be, potential targets at different positions. Obviously, primarily focusing on the positions of need, but we'll go into all of that when we get there. Obviously, that's gonna, and it might be, multiple videos focusing on like position groups and stuff like that. So we'll get into that soon enough. But for now, let's go ahead and jump into this video. And so again, scouting report video for the New England Patriots. They did just murder the Jacksonville Jaguars, 50-10. Jacksonville 2-14 on the season. Obviously, they're going to be getting, a top pick in this year's draft to try and build around Trevor Lawrence. They obviously had the debacle with their head coach this year. So they're basically rebuilding. They're basically in year one of their rebuild two years in a row. So even though technically I suppose it's year 2, but it's going to be a brand new head coach and stuff, and a lot of structural organizational changes are going to happen, whatever. Anyway, Patriots are 10-6, and now they did clinch a playoff spot, but don't think that means that they're not going to have something to play for. Depending on how things shape up, they still could win the division. And so they are absolutely going to have something to play for when they do come down to South Florida and have to play us. So they might be 10-6. They may have clinched their playoff spot as a wild card for sure. But again, they do still have something to play for. So I do not expect them to like rest starters or anything like that. So anyway, let's jump into this. New England had 471 total yards, allowing 253. They had 290 through the air, allowing 173. They had 181 on the ground, allowing only 80. They were at 6.7 yards per play, allowing 5.5. Neither team lost a fumble. New England got 3 picks off of Jacksonville, and they actually will get to league standings. They are one of the better teams in the league at getting turnovers in general, but particularly interceptions. They did also get 2 sacks on Jacksonville. Holy Jesus. They were 80% on third down. That is outrageous. I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time I actually saw that 80 fucking percent. That's wild. I mean, yes, okay, it's against Jacksonville. I get that. That is for sure. But like the Jacksonville defense is really not even the issue, and they have some like Calebon Chason and like Miles Jack, and they got some other guys on that defense that are God, who's the other dude? Josh Allen, right? The other Josh Allen. Like, they got some good dudes, bro, but like, holy balls, 80 fucking percent. That's wild. Anyway, and they let up 33. They had the ball for 36-46, allowing Jacksonville to hold it for 23-14, and each team had 3 penalties. That is so wild, bro. Anyway, Brian Hoyer did eventually come into this game, and I did watch the game. I watched it live, and then I actually rewatched it again in the short version on Game Pass, because I wanted to actually like fully watch. Like, I watched it live, but that was, you know, with other games going on and stuff, so I wasn't super focused on it. But anyway, Brian Hoyer ended up coming in. He was at the end because it was garbage time, or, you know, they were up by crazy amount, obviously. He was 3 of 4 for 63 yards. Mac Jones, though, was 22 for 30, 227 yards and 3 touchdowns. Had a good day. Obviously, the Patriots just had a good day in general. Ramondre Stevenson had 19 carries, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 5-6. Damian Harris, 9 carries, 35 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 3-9. Kendrick Bourne, 2 for 17 and an 8-5. Mac Jones added 2 for 12 and a 6 average. Kendrick Bourne led the way in receiving, 5 of 6, 76. Jacoby Myers, 8 of 8 for 73 and a score. Christian Wilkerson, 4 of 8 for 42 and 2 touchdowns. Hunter Henry, 3 of 5 for 37. Brandon Bolden, 2 of 3 for 21. Jonnu Smith, 1 for 20. And Damian Harris, 1 for 12. Yeah, I hate to tell you guys this, and it's funny because you guys know that I had my original prediction on the season prior to training camp, which I had at 6-11, and then right before the first game of the season against the Patriots, I had upgraded them to a 9-8. So that was my, you know, revised prediction, and then I had my window of somewhere between 6 and 9 is where my floor for them was 6 games. My ceiling for the Dolphins this season was 9 games, right? So, and it looks like they're either going to end up 9-8 at my ceiling, or I think more than likely probably 8-9, somewhere in between there, because this team is, I mean, oh no, that was unfortunate. Anyway, as I reload this, excuse me, give me a second. I accidentally clicked on a player's name and it took me to his page. Anyway, so we'll get back to that in a second. Trevor Lawrence was 17 of 27, 193 yards, 1 touchdown, and the 3 interceptions. Dare Ogunbowale, 9 rushes for 36 yards and a 4 average. Raquel Armstead, 6 for 28 and a 4.7. Trevor Lawrence, 2 for 16 and 8 average. Laquan Treadwell was 6 of 6 for 87. Marvin Jones, 2 of 6 for 46. Dare Ogunbowale, 2 of 2 for 32 and a score. Laviska Shenault, 2 of 3 for 13. Yeah, man, the Patriots. Anyway, and part of that, though, is that I had us splitting with the Patriots in both of my predictions, whether it was my, you know, original or my revised prediction. I had us splitting. So I had us losing to the Patriots in week 1, but I had us winning in week 18. Well, unfortunately, I am very much having to lean towards us still splitting with the Patriots, which means since we beat them barely in week 1, which obviously that game was saved by the Xavier Howard forced fumble because they were in position to at least put up 3 points and get the win. But anyway, like, I think we're going to split. I think we're going to end up losing this game because once we do get into these league standings, it doesn't get any better for us. I mean, you could look at the 50-10 trouncing that they just gave the Jags, even though they're a bad team. But that's what good teams do to bad teams, right? They kick the ever-living shit out of them. and whatever. You could look at their 10-6 record. You can, like, there's a lot, but when you get to these league standings, it does paint a very broader picture. And as I've been saying for a while, they've quietly become one of the better offenses in the league, but their defense is nasty. And so it's going to be a super tough game. Again, I expect them to play their starters and everything. They're trying to, it's a long shot for them at this point, but they are still trying to play for that playoff or that division title. And the way to do it is get that win, and the Bills have to lose. Although I don't see the Bills losing, because I'm pretty sure they play the Jets. So they have an easier time getting the win than the Patriots will against us, but I still think the Patriots are going to get it. They're currently 16th in the league in total offense with 500, when it comes to yardage, with 5,629 yards on the season, 351.8 per game. They're 15th in passing with 3,837 on the year, 239.8 per game. They're 8th in rushing with 2,017 on the year and 126.1 average per game. They're also 8th in points with 438 on the season, 27.4 per game. I mean, I don't see us being able to match that. But they're 7th in third down offense as well with 43.2% conversion rate. So obviously, like I said, and this is obviously at the end of the season. So this is 17 games in now. This is the week 17 scouting report. So this is 17 games in. No matter what happens in week 18, the standings are not going to change very much. And this is roughly where they're going to end up as an offense. And they have quietly become one of the better ones in the league. Now look at the defense, and pretty much every statistic they are phenomenal in, with the exception of rushing yardage. But obvious, and fumbles, they're just, whatever, right? Sacks, they're okay, right? So besides that, though, they're phenomenal in everything else. They're third in total yardage allowed with 311.6 per game. They're third in passing with only 208 passing yards, which unfortunately is our strength. We're not good at running, so even though that's their weakness, I'm not really even convinced we're necessarily going to be able to do that, especially even in games where that should have been where you leaned on last week for a number of different reasons. I just don't see them committing to it because they're all clowns. I do think that there is a level of intentional in there, but really at the end of the day, there's only two reasons. There's potential reasons: incompetence or intent. I think it is a mix of both, because I do think, now, not to get off on too much of a tangent, this is more for the off season, but we will talk about it, but I think Brian Flores has the entire year been trying to intentionally put Tua in a position to fail, so that way they can proceed with going to get Deshaun Watson, and it leaves no room for question in Stephen Ross's mind. Anyway, and that's a lot of what his, job retention for this upcoming season is going to be hindering on. Anyway, so they're 22nd, though, in rushing, 119.3. They're first in points with 16.9 allowed. They're fourth or second after ties with 30 takeaways on the year. They're second in interceptions with 23. Again, they're just kind of okay in fumbles, but obviously that balances out. They're 19th or 6th after ties with 7, and they still get a few, right, here and there. Sacks, they're just kind of in the middle of the pack, but I mean, it's good enough when you have the rest of these numbers, right? 17th or 11th after ties with 35 on the season. They did overtake us for first in passes defensed with 87 now on the year, and they are fourth in third down defense at 35.7% conversion rate. So it's going to be a really tough game for the Dolphins, and I unfortunately do expect us to lose. Real quick, here are the Dolphins currently updated offensive and defensive league standings. Obviously, when I do the preview, there'll be, I'll have the side-by-side action, so you can take a look at it like that, and we can compare them a little more directly, but there it is. And yeah, unfortunately, not only do I see us losing this game, and going, 8-9 on the season and having a technically losing record and all of that, whatever, but I think that there's a decent chance that it ends up looking similar to this last game. I mean, that defense is going to be really tough for us to, and you know, they have an entire year of tape on us. We did play them the first week of the season, etc. You know, they're a lot more comfortable in what they're doing, so I expect them to win and probably by a decent margin. So we'll get to that in the preview, though. I'll save that for then. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bounce out of here. Before I do, make sure you check out the Rave On Sports App, the new fan-driven sports app for all of your sports, whether it be basketball, baseball, football, college, whatever you like, they got it. And they're looking to enhance your game day experience with live play-by-play coverage, live chats with other fans and content creators like myself, as well as giving you an arena to dispute and moan and complain about all the terrible officiating. So make sure you check for the links to that in the description box. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys appreciate my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comments section. Of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at DillonTartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.